Hey! Recently, while looking through social media like I have nothing better to do, I noticed some people sharing what they call a meme. Apparently it's like an image or video that's usually supposed to be funny, that is shared and spread rapidly over the internet. And in one of these I saw one that showed how in 7 years Rockstar released 4 games. GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas and 4. And in 8 years they only re-released GTA 5. They do have a point. But as much as I like to make fun of video game companies, they obviously do have a reason, making each game always a lot bigger than the last one and, come on, better. GTA 5 was insane even when compared to 4, which was also insane when compared to San Andreas. And at the time of this video, the last one was Red Dead Redemption 2, which was also insane when compared to GTA 5. My point is, it makes sense that these games would take longer to make. So instead of coming here and complaining that they are taking too long to make another GTA game, I decided to go back in time and make a video about a game I never really played, GTA Vice City. Honestly, of course I did play it, but just not a lot. As a kid, I was always really into GTA San Andreas. It might have been one of the first GTA games I played, and whenever I tried going back to play the other ones, it just felt wrong. I remember starting Vice City about 10 times in a cyber cafe and just never getting past a mission where you have to control a toy helicopter. It just annoyed me, and I was already happy with San Andreas where I had a lot of cheat codes memorized. Even still, the ghost of Vice City kept following me. And I always heard people compare it to San Andreas, some saying that it was even better than the latter, but I just couldn't see why. So that's why I finally decided to play it for myself and see how it holds up. For the sake of transparency, I'll already let you know that I had to use a few mods to play this one. The original Vice City does not like to run in new PC, so I used a mod called Definitive Edition. And no, I am not talking about that thing Rockstar threw at us for the 20th anniversary of GTA 3. Amazing piece of work that is. I am talking about the Definitive Edition project. It is a compilation of mods that aims to improve the buggy ports that they launched on PC while maintaining a vanilla look and feel to the game. So with that, you'll see some things like restored water textures from the PS2 version and the light trails that are also on the PS2 versions but were removed on the PC for some reason. If you're interested in that, I'll leave a link to the project in the description. It is basically necessary if you plan on playing these games on PC today. The game opens up with Solifeaul, Tommy's boss, sending him to Vice City after hearing that he has been released from jail. There, you meet Ken Rosenberg, Sonny's contact in the city. You are there to make a drug deal and, of course, it ends up going wrong. You and Ken flee the scene to figure out what you're gonna do. You try explaining to Sonny what happened and he freaks out, but decides to let you work things out. From there on, you start trying to figure out who sold you off to the police. And that's where the game starts. Already, let me go back to that meme thing we talked about before. Sure, in 7 years Rockstar made 4 GTA games, but damn, I did not remember how similar they were to each other at this point. Graphics apparently are better than GTA 3, but if you play them back to back, you will notice a lot of reused assets that are even back in San Andreas. Having not played this one much, I was driving around sometimes just to be like, oh look, it's those houses from San Andreas. That being said, the game is extremely beautiful to look at. No matter the time of the day, just driving around makes you appreciate the style they went with. When it turns into night and you can see the lens flares and the backlights of cars, buildings and other stuff, it looks really great and it adds a lot to the 80s vibe this game has. And talking about that, it's crazy how perfectly they mimic that into the game. The cars have that distinct 70s and 80s look to them, like the Infernus, which really looks like a Countach, or the Cheetah, which looks just like a Testarossa. The same goes for the look of the characters, having mullets, bandanas, and whatever these cool looking suits are called. I'm pretty sure that the game already looked good at the time it came out, but it's really impressive that the game can look this good even today. The city is cluttered with things to look at, that being trees in the background, buildings, whatever. Everything is extremely detailed and it's something that Rockstar never seems to let you down on. And the gameplay, it's a mixed bag. I'll start with the bad first. I played most of this game on controller, but I also tried mouse and keyboard for the sake of it because the combat really sucks. I wasn't sure if this was because I was playing on the controller on the PC version, but I thought I'd give the game the benefit of the doubt. You can press RB to lock your target into someone or use the free aim. And the free aim is the worst I've tried in a long while. It's extremely sensitive and turning it down makes it so if you move the analog stick slowly, nothing happens. Like it has a huge dead zone to it. Well, why not just use the lock aim then? Because most of the time you can't move while aiming, which means that to shoot at someone you first gotta show yourself, then aim, then shoot. Oh, actually, then pray to Tommy to aim at who you're looking at and then shoot, because most of the time he just does whatever it feels like. Sometimes he aims at someone far away that has nothing to do with the combat, sometimes he just opens the free aim, and sometimes your camera just does this. Yeah, try hitting someone like that. Not only that, but sometimes Tommy just refuses to shoot because, well, I don't know. He just doesn't want to. Same goes for using melee weapons. Sometimes you're just pressing a button and he randomly decides not to attack at one moment or two. It can be really annoying, especially if you're on a timer, and a lot of these missions in this game are. And for the good part, it's basically all the rest. Driving around feels very good. I could complain about some of the cars feeling a bit too different from each other, like they were added in a mod and just handle too different from other cars, but it's really good. Everything feels fast and responsive, and my favorite missions were in cars or bikes. There's a mission in this game where you have to jump from rooftop to rooftop with a bike. It took me so many times and I was still laughing at the things happening in this game. The game has some extremely fun missions, like the one I just mentioned, but missions is also part of the reason I can't recommend this game to everyone. Hear me out. I was going through the game mission by mission, getting money and thinking, well, there's not a lot to do with the money in this game. So here and there I found a gun shop, bought a lot of them, just to lose them a few seconds later because I stood too close to a cop store. And after a while, I had fewer and fewer missions to do, and I got to a point where there was just nothing. I had no idea what I did wrong and even thought I bugged the game or something. I looked everywhere, went back to the safe house, tried restarting the game, saving, just nothing. So I decided to look it up and found out that you have to buy properties in this game, so you can progress the story. Well, whoops. You have no idea the amount of grinding that this game asks you to do before you can finish the story. It took me 16 hours to finish this game and I swear about 5 were just grinding for money and doing side missions that this game asks you to do. I'm not a side mission guy. I'm just not. And when you ask me to do a few random missions with different people that show up just for those missions and have no effect on the story whatsoever, that's where you lose me. It was one of the most boring experiences I've ever had. Thankfully, I found a glitch that apparently everyone uses to get past this part, where you have to do this mission over and over again so the game keeps giving you more and more money. But I'm pretty sure that's not the way they intended it. You have to buy assets, and then each asset you buy comes with 2 or 3 different missions, with side characters that appear just for those missions and then they're gone. The idea is that Tony is supposed to be finding who told about the deal that went wrong, but ends up getting lost in the middle of business and getting more and more contacts that he basically forgets about. Ken now works for him and he also meets Lance, a guy looking for vengeance against Diaz, a drug dealer from Vice City who killed his brother and owner of a very nice mansion. You three slowly take over Vice City and Sonny starts to get madder while waiting for his money. The soundtrack in this game, it's actually very good. Keep in mind that Rockstar did update the Steam version of this game to remove some of the songs, so you might not hear some of them in your game if you have that version. But it contains songs from the time like Billie Jean and Wanna Be Starting Something by Michael Jackson, Africa by Toto, and I Wanna Rock by Twin Sister, aka the song that SpongeBob sings on his movie. It fits the game so well and sometimes you can even hear the broadcaster singing along. The interactivity everything has is extremely immersive and it's something that you don't see a lot even today. You have different radios with different types of music, like Flash FM for pop songs, Espantoso, which is a Spanish radio which also fits the whole Cuban background theme the game has, or V-Rock, which well, plays rock. If you're not a fan of the music in it, you can also put your own songs in the PC version and have them playing like any other radio in the game, so you can't complain if your own radio sucks. By the end of the story, that is after you did out the hours of side missions, Tommy is the big guy in Vice City, owning most places on it and controlling everything. But that's when shit finally hits the fan and you get a call from one of your assets, which got raided by the mob, saying that they came to take their cut. Of course, the mob is Sonny's mob, and Tommy goes after the people taxing his business. After that, you get a call from Ken, saying he got a call from a really mad Sonny saying they're coming from them after Tommy killed his people. You meet them with fake money and Sonny lets us know that Lance actually sold you off. The leads are ending to a fight against the mob and now you have to defend yourself and your money. Lance shows up and you have to go after him through the mansion to kill him. After that, you go back and find Sonny for the final showdown.
Boys, you know what this is?
Well, that was easier than expected. The game has another cutscene of Tommy and Ken, and after that you two walk out as business partners. What a beautiful ending. The game seems to take a lot of inspiration from Scarface, having Tommy Vercetti instead of Tony Montana, both killing the kingpin of the city and taking over their mansion, becoming the new king of Miami, or well, Vice City in this case. And the game ends up exactly like the movie, with the only difference being that Tony didn't end up so well. You even get an Easter egg, which is probably this game's most well known. The bloody bathroom in an apartment with a chainsaw on it. I still think it's worth playing this one if you never did. It's still very fun to play, and while I really despise that whole side mission part, I really enjoyed my time playing this game. It is extremely immersive, fun, and a beautiful game that can keep you for hours just driving around the city looking at things. Again, if you plan on playing it, just make sure that you get the mod that I use for it. It will make the experience way better, or just get the PS2 version. Stay away from the Rockstar Definitive Edition though. But yeah, I guess that's it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and tell me how you feel about the game, or even the video itself. And also, here's some fan art made by the community. If you have any and you want me to show it in a video, make sure you join our Discord. Link is in the description. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.